me why my mom just got me into some nonsense. Don't sit over there laughing. So, as soon as we walk out the door, we have a neighbor that's elderly, and she wanted to put on her wig so she could get on her Zoom call. Don't ask me who she was calling this time of the morning, okay? But she had a wig that looked like T-Bone stepping in her felines, so you don't hear me though.
It's not the top of the morning. It's noon.
And please,
we're late.
That was 11:50.
She's had several surgeries. She's elderly. There's nothing wrong with
She came to the door looking for somebody to help her put her wig on. I ain't never did that. And then on top of that, here go my mom. Oh, you could go over there because her cat was at the door. She's scared of cats.
You've never done that because you've never been in a position where you are not able to do something for yourself. Once you get in that position, you will understand.
I don't care for Miss. Here's why. She said I look like. I don't care for her. She said that I look like Precious when I was younger. She said that I look like Precious. Now here go Precious. She calling across the street to fix her wig. They're gonna say, "Oh, MAKIAH, she'll come over there and help you."
Why did I say that? Tell the reason why.
I'm trying to get to it, and you too scary to say.
Hurry up and say it.
No, you say it.
So big
you
and bad.
say it. You 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 didn't want to go over there because of a cat. But I have a personal vendetta with her.
Vendetta? How you got a
She called me Precious.
How you got a vendetta with a senior citizen?
She been a senior citizen for the past 35 years. And 35 years ago, she said I look like Precious. Well, not 35, 18 years ago. She said, you know what? You look just like that girl in that new movie. I said, what movie you talking about, ma'am? She said, Precious. That should be against the law. Ordered something from Walmart. Now, it was supposed to be a robe because I'm good for like house dresses and towels, but sometimes I want a sexy robe. Child, first off, I knew everything went left when the robe came with this. This don't even cover my damn head. I don't know what this thing is supposed to go to. I'm just being honest. And on top of that, I ordered the robe in a 5X for a reason, because I wanted to fit. You know, I'm a big girl and I want to be able to, like, you know, double tie it up. Look at this. It ain't long at all. What kind of robe is this? The hell is this? A robe. Why is it stopping at the bottom of my doggone boobs? Now I'm trying to fucking improvise, because it can be worn as like a little top. It do stretch a little. I'm telling you, I cannot make this shit up. What the fuck is this? No, it looked tacky. I'm sending it the fuck back. Strings hanging. What is this? Child. If I was to wear this the way whatever, let me tell you something. This was not the angle. The angle literally was for me to have a long, full robe above the knee that I can wrap across me when I get out the shower. What the fuck is this? I must got a Hellcat. I don't have a meow. I must have a fucking Hellcat, because there is no way that this is covering this ain't covering a lip. What? It had nerve to come with a little, why? Why you send it with this? With 2 seconds of robe? It do cover the arms. But see, I would have to sew it up, improvise, tweak it. I mean, I can do something with it. I would have to buy a different penny. A penny that actually covered my ass. Or cover my crotch. But boy, oh boy, this is not what I intended. I did not intend for any of this. I wanted something that covered my body. But I'll put it in my little goodie box. So I did just go ahead and press this bob out. I have been trying to let my hair breathe a little bit. So I did have a ponytail in a couple times last week. But this is Friday, so I am going to go ahead and, y'all know me, I tack my units down so they just won't shift and slip in case of an emergency. So I'm going to take it down, wrap it, let it kind of marinate, get that kind of beveled look. And I'm going to make me some lunch. So I'm going to tap y'all in so y'all can see what I'm eating, because I'm doing a more healthier lifestyle right now, where I am incorporating a lot of leafy greens. I'm also incorporating more just more vegetables, period. So it can be zucchini, it can be greens, it can be sprouts, it can be, you know, just fruits, vegetables, whatever. So I am going to tap y'all into that so y'all can see what's going on. And overall, it may not be much going on today. Even though it's a Friday, I have no big plans. But I wanted to get into the topic for this vlog. I definitely wanted to get into the topic of starting to grow your own vegetables at home. I don't know how I'm going to incorporate that, but I wanted to start growing that. It's going to be windowsill chronicles, where the light kind of comes in from outside and you can kind of sprout and start your own little garden where you can pick from and produce some, you know, some good things to cook with. So I do want to start to incorporate that on this channel, because I'm so health focused and health conscious right now, especially with me trying to balance my diabetes, balance my thyroid, and things of that nature. And fun thing, I have been getting out a lot more, walking around outside, getting some sun, and really enjoying the outdoors. The fall is my time of year. A lot of people like to kind of retreat a little bit and be inside. I like to be outside when it's fall. I like to see the leaves. I like those, you know, those walks, you know, outside. I like to just soak those moments in. So we're going to see a lot more of that in this vlog. So definitely stick with me. I love the fact that you're here for another video. If you have not caught up, at least go back and watch the last 3 videos, meaning after you watch this, click into my content and like those last 3 videos, because the last 3 videos have not been getting as much love as they need, and I need my analytics to be up a little bit. So yeah, but yeah, we're gonna get into that, this like health conscious type of eating, and I'm actually going to show you what I purchased from Whole Foods, because I went to Whole Foods for the first time in a long time, and I purchased a lot of things that I have been watching online that I wanted to try. And one of the things is sprouts. Pack so much vitamins and nutrients, so I'm kind of like excited about that right now. And I also want to start to produce my own sprouts. Little windowsill chronicles. Nothing major, nothing where you have to play with a lot of dirt. And we're just going to talk about that for a little while, and whatever else come up. I don't know if y'all want to dab into the love and relationship chronicles. We may have a girl chat where we just sip on some tea and chat. We may. But honestly, I don't want to bring light on a lot of shit because it's just toxic. And also, we need to pick up some more material to start to produce a couple pieces that I have going on. So we haven't made a dress in a few weeks. We haven't sewn in a few weeks. So I want to start to pick up that, start to bring some traction more in that area as well. So get into the vlog. Come on, sit down. So this week's sponsor is Margot Wells. We have talked about her jewelry pieces a lot on this channel, but I wanted to incorporate some of her handbags. She has some beautiful handbags, a lot of African motifs. Get into the fashions of Margot Wells when it comes to designing some beautiful cups, water bottles, even earrings. Things that incorporate holistic value when it comes to rocking that copper. That bag is so cute with those rhinestones. Get into Margot Wells. Please run to her website and support. And once again, thank you for being a sponsor for this week's video. It's somebody at the door selling something. I literally just went to the door just to get some fresh air. And I shut the door and I'm literally acting like I'm not here. Yeah, I'm acting like I don't want to answer the door. Like, I don't want to know what he's selling, even though he was kind of cute. But no, I'm not opening that door back up. So as promised, I wanted to get into some of the things that I purchased from either Whole Foods or the market. And this is one of my favorites. 0-calorie yogurt with some fruits and vegetables is always my go-to for breakfast. I love a good cucumber and dressing. And also, I love to do an egg sandwich, primarily in the morning. I'm good for a hot breakfast, and that would be my version of a hot breakfast. Also, hummus with vegetables, hummus with corn chips is always my go-to. I really need to do the vegetable version more often because corn chips, I can literally run through a bag of those. And I'm glad that I've been kind of scaling back on that for a while. However, some celery is what I want to try to incorporate when I'm doing things like hummus or carrots. I do like to do peppers with some cream cheese. That's kind of like a keto thing that I used to do all the time. But also, I chop them up and I put them in eggs. I put them in stir fries. When I say I love the taste of these peppers, it's like my go-to now. Cabbage. Y'all know I cook a lot of cabbage on this channel. I use it as a reset to drop a few pounds within the week. And I love it. Chop it up, eat on just that. It's so low calorie that literally you'll lose weight from eating that for a few days. Squash. It's that time of year. So it's the season where squash is in season, it's in abundance, and you can just season it up with some onions or something like that. And this is my favorite plant-based sausage. I like to put it in my cabbage, or I can just eat it by itself. It's really, really good, honestly. I can't brag enough about it. It is a little bit on the expensive side. So if you grab it, just keep that in mind. This is the more friendly version of like a vegetarian stir fry. A lot of people know about it. And you can put it with spaghetti. And also shrimp is something that I love to incorporate. These low-calorie wraps will go great with any of those protein supplements that I just showed you as far as like the crumble and the sausage and stuff like that. You'll have an amazing lunch or even a breakfast using those wraps. Or I'll do the whole grain bread. Sometimes we like to use the killer bread. That's really good and really chewy in texture, but it's a go-to. This is my bag of turmeric. This is what I eat for inflammation when I'm in total pain. Turmeric is my go-to. Turmeric is very expensive. I think that was like $15 for that bag. However, this is okra, frozen okra. What I like to do is put that in my water, and it gets the girl right. That kitty down there just be ready, just purring. I'm just keeping it real. That's why the girls drink it. It keeps you very moist when you need to be moist, period. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was, but I'm not. But as far as beverages, I like to do a 0-calorie sparkling water. I'll mix it with a Mio most of the time, and it honestly feels like I'm drinking soda. Other than that, I love to just drink water. I don't drink a whole bunch because I constantly run to the bathroom when I'm drinking water. I don't know why. But for the most part, those are my two beverages. There's no soda or juice that's incorporated. It may be a green tea or a black tea, but for the most part, it's water, baby. I mean, H2O is the best thing. And you don't want to drink on your calories. So I do believe that you should invest in drinking some sparkling water. These are the bean sprouts. I'm obsessed with sprouts. I'm always obsessed with something, but there is bean sprouts being kind of produced right now. I'm trying to test them out. I'm trying to try some quinoa sprouts. So we're going to see how that kind of produce. And yeah, that's the update. Okay, so we're creeping into the next day and I started some laundry. But I wanted to show y'all some of the things that I have been sprouting and growing about on the windowsill. And that's some green onion. I kind of keep these because when you buy them, we think that we can just throw them out and they're no more good. Child, these things really hold up very well. Just put them in some water. That's it. You don't have to do anything else and they will grow like crazy. And I chop them up. I put it in my egg soup and other little fun dishes, and essentially it's just green onions. It tastes really, really good. And this morning I'm creating some breakfast. So this is just some eggs, and we had like this instant steamed rice in the house that I wanted to try. And traditionally I don't go for the white rice, but I said let's try it. Ain't nothing like some good old eggy rice and a roll. So this was kind of hearty, and it is the weekend, so I do go a little crazy on the weekends, but not too much. And it was really good. But I sat and I watched Love is Blind. Hey divas and gents, so I'm in the house. I wanted to show y'all this jumper that I am rocking in some capacity. If y'all can get a full, this jumper, when I say I've had this jumper for quite some time, and I love how it hugs my curves. It's so cute. My grandmother had this idea that I like these kind of nerdy looking glasses. Now, it was just something fun. I was buying something on Fashion Nova. Never mind. Let me tell you something. I have the most toxic situationship known to men. And we are texting back and forth, and now we are having I don't know what you call it. We're not mad because there ain't no reason to be mad. But anyway, I bought something off of Fashion Nova. And on Fashion Nova, you know how you buy something and they're like, oh, little add-ons. And I have bought these little magoos. I call them magoos. And it's just like these little cute glasses. I love throwing these glasses on because it gives me like that cat eye. It just glams me up really quick. But my grandmother seen me in a pair and she was like, oh, I have a whole bunch of glasses that I don't want to put my prescription in. And I just thought that you would love these. So she gave me all these glasses. Only thing is, I'm going to be quite honest, wearing these glasses can play with your regular vision, and that's the only thing that I don't enjoy. Like, if I wear them all day, the next day, I feel like I need glasses for real. Some of them I just gave them to my mom, but these are very similar to the ones that I ordered on Fashion Nova. Only difference is they're kind of like this brown chocolate tint, and then they go into this clear style. So I did like these. So out of the 4 pair, I said 5, but she gave me 4. Out of 4 pair, this is one of the pair that I kept. Y'all let me know if y'all like these. If you like those, let me know. I might give a pair away because I know I'm not going to wear them. When it comes to trying fads, I gotta open that door. When it comes to trying fads, I'll literally try it I'll do it for maybe a month or so. And then it's something new that I want to play with, and I'll play with that. It's just like hair. I get sick of it. So I can't see me doing this all days, always. But these are colorful. All of them are cat eye. But these are colorful. And they have that pretty gold trim that's really nice. And to my knowledge, if you wear glasses, you can get an inexpensive pair of glasses and just put your lens in the glasses. So that's their goal when they order a lot of these. Only thing is they order too many of them. And yeah. So they do kind of sophisticate you real quick, especially if you feel like you give off a different tone and maybe you're going to a little interview or something and you want to add a little nerdy look, just to make it look like you're a little techie or, you're that little desk girl. Those are a little more matronly to me, the colorful ones. I don't know why. I thought these were cute. The little T on the side was giving Tom Ford to me. Let me wipe them down. Okay. So these aren't bad. These are cute, actually. Shaded. I love the shade on them. Sunglasses are not my thing. I haven't been a girl because I like to do my eyes up so much. I love to do my eyes up, so I never play with shades. But these are kind of nice. I like the little T on the side. Really cute. This pair gives off, I don't know, I feel like this pair is just really basic. But you know what? For them to be so basic, they're crystal clear. I can see through them. And it definitely gives off that kind of studious look. I thought I would hate these, but I actually like them.
Tomorrow is the holiday. Indigenous Peoples Day. People of money. I told her I had to work.
Maybe not enough people plan to come. Maybe that's what it was. Fried fish, 2 different things of rice. They both was like 90-minute rice. And I made a big thing of cabbage because that's what I'm going to be eating on for the next few days. That was good. So, I was looking at some cool topics to talk about on the channel because honestly, sometimes I run into what to talk about on the channel sometimes. And it's some good topics on here, but it's so funny how I was just watching Bella Collective, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with Bella Collective, but I'll put the picture in the corner as always. And Bella Collective is getting real interesting when it comes to Marie. Marie is one of the most powerful women on the channel. She is a breadwinner. She is basically doing her thug dizzle when it comes to career and things of that nature. But her love life is so up and down. And right now she is dating a white man, or she's dating outside of her race. And the question came up because I was watching it with my mother, and she was like, would you ever date outside of your race? And it's funny that she asked that because at one point in time, when I was younger, she would say, don't ever bring nobody, outside of your race in this home or whatever. And I kind of grew up thinking that wasn't a thing. And I'm just going to light some sage. But now as an adult, I'm kind of like, I don't know, because I feel like when I date inside of my race, I run into the same problems. And I feel like, is it that all men cheat, or is it all black men cheat, or they tend to cheat, So sometimes I wish I can date a man that's not traditionally, or that's not used to growing up in a household where cheating was involved, or they're not actively cheating on their women. Like, I think that's the question that comes to my mind. Like, could I get treated better with a different race? Ooh. So this is from Margot Wells. So if you're into like incense, sage, creating good energy, removing negative energy, or more so just, I like the smell. I love the smell of sage. Some people hate it, but I love the smell. So tap into Margot Wells. She has a whole bunch of these things. Big ones, small ones. I need to get some Palo Santos because that's what really, really smells good. I feel like every time we get on camera, that's when the neighbors want to let her dogs out. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess I would date outside of my race. The only thing is, what I did say, my response was he would have to have swagger. And I said the swagger would have to be like a black man. So she was like, no, he would have to completely change himself. So maybe you can't date outside of your race, or you wouldn't like to date outside your race. But the thing is, it just never came up. I grew up in a neighborhood where traditionally, culturally, and historically, it's black people in my neighborhood. That's our clique. That's where our community is. School, the same thing. It was all black in my school. So I don't know. I had one white classmate within my 12-year experience with school. And in college, in college, it was all kinds of people there. But by then we already grew up so kind of detached from one another. It's not like we couldn't talk to someone outside of our race, But by the time we were in college, we were so used to just talking to people that were our color. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lighter skin, yes. Spanish or Spanish descent or Afro Latino, maybe it may have happened. But I always felt like the energy was so much black that I couldn't even see if that person, because I'm thinking of one guy, I couldn't even tell you if he was mixed or not, or maybe just had good hair, but it was never like intentional. But you know, if the situation was to come up and that person just really knocked me off my feet and wowed me, yes, I think I would date outside of my race. Fuck it. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Once you date outside of your race, we tend to think that automatically they have smaller penises or they can't do it. You know what I mean? That's the first thing we kind of get scared of, because on this side, you know, our men, they pack a nice punch, you know, down there. They really, they have the right equipment. But I think that's false, because, you know, through curiosity and seeing some things, there's some men, you know, of a different race that they're packing. So, I mean, I don't think that would be the part that scares me. I think it just would be, how do we relate? When I start to talk about my upbringing or my childhood, where do we relate? But there's a lot of black men that I date now that openly have said that they've dated white women, and they try to make it seem like it's more easier, or when they have kind of like conflict, it's not as messy or it doesn't get crazy. But to be quite honest, to each his own. If you want somebody that's calm mannered, or what they call it, monotone, or what do they call it, kind of mellow throughout every fucking encounter that you have, and she's afraid to get her hands dirty, or, you know, ruffle a little feathers, then maybe you do need somebody that's a little bit more easy going. But for me, I mean, when it comes to interaction, it depends on the situation. Sometimes you're going to get an elevated voice, but other than that, that's it, you know. But some men say that white women are more, or women, any woman outside of the African American race, they feel like that they're more easy on certain uncomfortable situations. And I don't know, maybe their reactions is based on something else. But I think reactions come from what you're brought up around. So for me, yes, I would be lying if I said that I grew up around women and men, you know, being cordial in an argument. Whenever I grew up around a man having a disagreement with a woman, it has always been yelling. It has always been profanity. Things have been thrown, you know, things of that nature. So I do understand that I don't have that cool, calm start off. I have to reel myself in and say, hey, this is not what I like to see when I was coming up. So I don't want to treat my partner like that. And for a while I treated my partner like that. When I did have one. Let me get some to rub across my lips. Yeah, so for a while I did kind of approach a lot of situations a little messier than normal, because I grew up seeing that type of interaction, that when you have a disagreement with your partner, I grew up seeing that it was okay to yell or throw something or be upset. But I think it takes for the individual to say, hey, this isn't cool. Let's change the vibe or switch it up. Let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's pray about it. I'm big on praying about things now. Let's cool off. We don't have to talk about it right away. I don't want you to abandon the conversation, but we don't have to pop off right away. And I think that's where I see my maturity, where I have grown, because I have a lot of different sides to me. I can be crazy, I can be sexy, I can be cool, I can be zen, and then I have that spiritual side where I'm all the way in line with whatever God wants for me. And I feel like, let's go to the source, let's pray about it. Let's read a Bible verse or something. Let's come up with a concept on how we can do this without going completely nuts. Because, eventually I ever have children, I just don't want to pass that type of vibe on. In my past relationship, I was a problem when it came to me being upset. I either would be completely shut off, or I would start throwing shit. I would get mad and angry. I would really ruffle feathers. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a reason why I got like that. But I don't want anybody to provoke me. I don't want to provoke them. So I think when it comes up that white women or women outside of the African American race are more easygoing, I think it takes two to tango. And I also think that when it comes to, you have to learn what you have going on, and you have to just stop it. If a woman is always in flight mode or fight mode, more so, if she's always in fight mode with you and she doesn't feel comfortable with you, and if you can't calm her or she can't calm you, then you do not need to be together. But also, you need to source, if you want that person, you need to source a way of communicating with them, and see how can you make it work. And if you can't make it work, then hey, leave that person alone. But I don't think it's based on race, because don't get me wrong, them Chinese girls get crunk too, them Asian girls get crunk too, Spanish girls even more crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same for the men. Everybody is not easygoing. You don't go to a relationship because they're more easygoing. You're going with who is spiritually aligned with you, who connects with you the most. And it can be somebody straight from flipping Mars. They can be purple. They can be blue. But if you have a lover's spat, you have to learn how to spat fair. So it turns me off when I hear guys say that it's easier with them, and it is kind of, it hurts to hear it, because you're like, wow, that's what you really think? But what if I was to say that I feel like men are more easygoing on that other side? It's just crazy. All is fair, you know what I'm saying? You love who you love. But will I ever date outside of my race? If I have to, yes. If they love me better, yes. It's who loves you better. It's not who lets you get away with the most shit. It's not who doesn't yell at you when you're dead ass wrong. It's who loves you the best. So if it was ever a situation where someone outside of my race could love me better, you think I'm not gonna go to that other side? You know what I'm saying? God made him just like he made me. You know what I'm saying? So listen. Oh yes, I'll be on that thing like white on what? White on rice. But it has never happened. But it's something like chocolate. Chocolate does it for me. Dark-skinned men that have that southern flair, men that know hip hop to the T, you know, men that grew up in the 90s in the hood. Like, it's something about that type of men for me that trumps anything else. You know what I'm saying? It's the essence. So, you know, I can play all day, but my first choice is always going to be a black man.